Okay, y'all. I've been trying to use AI because it's not nearly as time consuming. But in one of my recent AI videos, um, by the way, I'm actually creating the script for these, so it's not like I'm not involved in this whole process. So anything that you see in those AI videos, it actually did come from me. But in the AI video, it was talking about how on the left there's a greater emphasis on capitalism, but not so much on statism. And the reason why I focus more on the judiciary is because the judiciary is the one branch of government in which citizens have direct contact with the state. It's the one branch that is accessible, right? Change comes through the judiciary, not necessarily through the legislative or the executive branch. But I'm going to be doing more content exposing the corruption within the practice of law, both with attorneys and judges. But y'all know that I recently filed a lawsuit against my aunt, which I'm not going to discuss. But prior to well, prior to really getting into it, before I even served her, I was trying to hire a probate attorney, right? Because probate law is very complicated. I didn't study that in law school. Um, it's a very specialized field. And the probate attorneys, okay, the one who I contacted, the one who I actually spoke to, he sent me this retainer, right? Um, with his retainer was $200 and his fee was going to be $900. And it was a breakdown, right? It was going to be $400 for him per hour, $400 for his associate attorney per hour, and $100 per hour for his paralegal, right? This is highway robbery. And he was giving it to me with a straight face. Well, this is my standard fee. I normally would charge more, but I'm actually doing you a favor. This is the okie doke that they give you. And because there is a monopoly on a practice of law, and because someone who isn't licensed is not going to be able to do that, right? A paralegal who has knowledge in that field probably would not be able to help you. Um, Now that I've researched that area of law, I'm well versed on probate law, at least in my state. Prior to having to deal with it myself, I did not know anything about probate law. Um, but that goes to show how corrupt the system is and how inaccessible it is because of the occupational licenses, because they have given themselves a barrier to entry, which creates an artificial scarcity for services. So you're going to be hard pressed to find an attorney who's not going to try to exploit you. And they don't feel guilty about it either. They'll tell you, oh, I got to eat. They don't care whether their clients eat. And $900 an hour, I was being modest when I was saying $300 or $500. No, some of these attorneys are charging a whole lot more than that. But I want to get into this video real quick about this lady from Chicago. She was talking about how they tried to get over her with a probate case, but her case is not atypical. This goes on all day, every day.
All right, so explain the situation with probate and your situation with housing.
Oh, the situation with probate is that probate process is another avenue that's used to take our property. Even in instances when there is a will, even in instances where there is no debt, the game is to arbitrarily run debt up on your estate. That's what.
By the way, this isn't unique to probate law. They do this also in family divorce cases, custody disputes. They create a controversy, right? They try to stir up this whole back and forth so they can rack up all these attorneys' fees. That's how they make their money. That's how their wealth is ill-gotten. Attorneys are parasites. I mean, it is what it is. They don't contribute to society. They don't create wealth. All they can do is siphon wealth from the public. So when you look at an attorney and they brag about their money, I want you to know that they actually stole it from their clients, because their clients don't have a choice. There isn't a free market for legal services, so they have no choice but to pay it. And when it comes to a probate case, right, you may not have money, but they know that you have a house that you're supposed to inherit. By the way, this is something that your parents or whoever worked for 30 years, paying off that mortgage. And this attorney thinks that he's entitled to it. He's just going to come in and siphon that wealth that your family worked so hard for, and he feels he's entitled to it. They'll tell you. They'll tell you that they think they're entitled to it. And I'm going to get into Louis Brandeis and how this whole capitalist corporate attorney culture was created, but they absolutely believe that they are entitled to that money and they do not feel guilty taking it from you. And that's the main reason that they affect these barriers to entry, right? They want to have an artificial scarcity, and the only way they can run this okie doke is by keeping people out of the practice of law. If there are too many people in the practice of law, then they can't run their okie doke. So they don't want competition. They want to keep it down so they can keep taking your money. Now, you may not care about somebody like me. You may, when I talk about how I got screwed over and they kept me out the practice of law, you think that this has nothing to do with you. It absolutely does. The fact that me and others, and by the way, this disproportionately affects Black law students, even though they are making changes with the bar application process, we're systematically kept out the practice of law, and this in turns affects your ability to find an attorney to help you. An attorney who's not going to take all your damn money.
That hire the state attorney is going to do. He's going to create chaos to make unnecessary delays. That way, they're going to start running a tab on that property.
By the way, this isn't complicated. I don't know the law in Illinois, but in Texas, you can actually avoid this. You need to have an estate plan, right? You may, a lot of people think because they don't have wealth that they don't need to make a plan. No, you need to have a plan. My father did not have a plan, and we really had to scramble to put everything together at the last minute. I did a transfer on death deed. A transfer on death deed means that it transfers to you automatically. I don't know if that is a thing in Illinois, but it is a thing in Texas. You can also have a small estate affidavit. You can have a monument of title. Those are things. These are simple probate techniques that you or things that you can do to avoid a full probate. You do not want to go through a full probate. And she probably could have avoided a full probate also. And that attorney probably could have avoided a full probate, but he didn't want to do that because he wanted to rack up a whole bunch of attorney fees. Now by the way, when I went in court, that attorney was telling me that I needed to hire an attorney. I mean, that judge was telling me that I needed to hire an attorney. That would have been the biggest mistake in my life because my father already screwed me over by giving me the money that he promised to my aunt, which I'm still dealing with. She's already spent the money, so any money that I try to get is going to be coming out of her pocket, which I'm not going to talk too much about. But the only inheritance that we were going to get was the house, and now we're in the process of selling. If I would have hired an attorney, that attorney would have taken our entire inheritance, and we would have gotten nothing. And on top of it, that attorney can't even guarantee that you're going to get the results. So they're charging these exorbitant attorney's fees, $900 an hour or whatever they're charging. They can't guarantee a result. This is completely unconscionable. But nobody said anything because the public does not know that this is going on. When people like me talk about it, it goes in one ear and out the other. But it's going to happen to you at some point.
Once that tab gets to where that hired estate attorney desires it to be, then all of a sudden he can go to the court, to the judge that's presiding over the probate case. In my instance, it's Judge Terrence McGuire. He can go to that judge and get that judge to attempt to force the sale of your property just to pay his attorney fees. Even if that property, that estate has no debt on it.
Now, I would say report his ass to the Bar Association, but the Bar Association is not going to do anything. You should also report that judge. They're not going to do anything against the judge. That's the reason why I was talking about how this judicial immunity is just as, I think it's far worse because you have to address the corruption at its root. The root is not the corporations, right? The only reason that CEO was able to do what he did is because these corrupt judges will allow him to do it. The legal system has failed us. So don't go after the damn CEO. The CEO is doing what the system allows him to do. The corruption starts with the state. Statism is the root cause of the problem, not capitalism.
Like in my mother's case, her estate had no debt. And yet, Judge Terrence McGuire can attempt to...
Another thing, stop focusing on the specific judge. Stop focusing on your local government. The more localized you make it, the less people are going to care. This is a systemic problem, which is nationwide. It's not your judge. It's not your county. It's not even your state. Everybody's dealing with this problem. So stop making it, because when people hear that and you start talking about your judge in Chicago, no, then they're thinking, oh, that's a Chicago situation. It's not. It's not unique to any particular demographic or location.
force us to sell that property to pay the attorney fees. It's a con. And then when you try to fight,
the whole practice of law is a con. The whole practice of law is an absolute scam. I'm going to go in greater detail. I guess I need to revisit this because I've talked about it in the past, but I want y'all to really understand how corrupt this entire legal system is.
fight it like I did, rather than that judge moving, because I put in a recusal to have him removed. Rather than them letting the process be that, you had a corrupt Judge Carolyn Gallagher, who...
Again, you're focusing on the judge. No, but the whole purpose of I told y'all what the word attorney means. Attorney means to turn over. So their role is to turn you over to the state. So by the fact that you hire that attorney, you put yourself in this matrix. You don't represent yourself. By hiring that attorney, you have already deemed yourself to be incompetent. So you basically go sit in a corner and shut up, let this attorney take your money while he's screwing you over. And the judge are going to laugh all the way to the bank, and the citizens are just going to pay for their own oppression, and then they support this shit. When I talk about it, people want to dismiss it. And then when it happens to you, it's too damn late. You can't wait until it happens to you. You have to listen when it's happening to other people, and you have to stand in solidarity and fight against this oppression.
Instead of removing him illegally and wrongfully, put it into public administration. That way is a way to backdoor the accounting fee, the attorney fees. You're going to get your friends in public administration to do it. You have to watch probate. Probate is another way.
Again, it's not just probate, it's family law. It's really any type of law that that's going to be dealing with assets. If you have assets, then that attorney is looking at it like, that's mine. I'm going to take it. They're looking at you like a cash cow. You're just a bag. That's how they get money. That's how they get their wealth. It's ill-gotten. Any attorney who is wealthy is a parasite. An attorney is either a social engineer or he's a parasite on society. If you're not going into the practice of law to effect change, to engage in social engineering, then you are a parasite on society.
That they're stealing our property.
My name is Jessica Jackson, Jessica Jackson, okay? And I'm here, and you know who I am, because I see you at that public board commissioners meeting all the time, so you know exactly who I am. And you know exactly what my issue is as it pertains to the city of Chicago and Cook County stealing Black people's property.
Again, stop making it specific to Chicago. Don't even make it specific to Black people, because again, you're turning people off. This is not specific to Black people. I would say this is a class issue because it happens to white people too. When you start doing that, you're basically alienating yourself. This is a black. If you're saying this is a black issue, then you're not going to get white allies because it doesn't pertain to it. Does pertain to them. It's not about black people. Um, what I will say is the black community should. We have plenty of black attorneys, but they're part of the system too. They're trying to get the bag, and they're not even. I mean, they're basically climbing to the top by stepping on their own people. They're not trying to educate people. You could have avoided the probate process altogether. Even after whoever your loved one died, there are ways that you could have avoided this whole process. You did not need an attorney, but again, nobody's going to tell you that because this information is supposed to be esoteric. It's only supposed to be for the elite. I told y'all in that video which I actually wrote the script for. Anarchists believe that knowledge belongs to the community. It belongs to everyone. That we don't believe in patents. We don't believe in hoarding information and then charging fees for it. We do not believe that. That is property is theft. And if you're claiming that's intellectual property, this is your work product. That's absolute bullshit. Attorneys are public servants, and they should not be engaging in private capitalism.
Now, I'm here in support of the Harvey community because I learned that you all are trying to move them out. Just like the probate process is used to take Black people's property. Now, I've come to City Hall over and over again, and I've come.
First of all, I don't even know why she's standing before City Hall. The City Hall has no authority. City Hall, municipalities, they do public works. She's not even in the right venue to be addressing her concern. She should be speaking before the county commissioners. That's who she should be speaking. The City Hall, they don't have any authority. I guess this is the political illiteracy of this specifically. I would say is the Black community. I don't know. I mean, we need to start educating ourselves on how the government works. The City Hall has no authority to help her. She should be speaking before the county commissioners. That's who she should. Those are the only people that can help her. They're the ones who pay the salary for the county and district judges. City Hall has no authority. The City Hall is only over municipal courts. That's it.
To the Cook County Commissioner meetings over and over again. I've come to PCB meetings where you're at over and over again. And no one seems to be able to deal with the fact that the probate process is still in Black people's property. Now, it's not an unknown because everybody that you speak to about.
Well, this is the thing, though. The practice of law is self-regulated. It's a classic case of the fox guarding the hen house. Attorneys regulate themselves. They oversee. Their oversight is through the bar association, and so they act like this protects the public because they're more specialized and they know what's going. No. This is the reason why everything is so secret and esoteric, because it's just as Burnside says, sunlight is the best disinfectant. This information is secret. They're acting like they're the only ones who are capable of, I don't know, making decisions or being fair and impartial. No. The oversight really should be from the public. It should be from non-attorneys. It should be from laypersons. It should not be attorneys deciding whether another attorney should be disciplined, because attorneys are going to protect other attorneys.
About it, all organizations, all city officials, all Cook County officials, everybody's response is, yeah, I know, it's been going on for a long time. Yeah, you know how Cook County is. Yeah, you know how Chicago is. So it's not something that's unheard of. What it is a situation that Cook County doesn't want to do anything about. And the reason why they don't want to do anything about.
Okay, and I'm sorry that you're going through this, but you didn't want to do anything about it either. When it was going on with other people, you turned a blind eye to it, and it fell on deaf ears. Now that it's happening to you, you want to do something about it. But no, other people are going to do the same thing that you did. It's happening to you, it's not happening to them. So why should they care?
About it. It's because, like in my situation, the judges are white, the public
Please stop making this about race. They're corrupt, but I want y'all to let this sink in. If she had a black judge, they would be just as corrupt. The black judges are not any better than the white judges. They're all in on this.
administrators are white. The higher the state attorneys are white. So all your black officials like yourself, Tony Preckwinkle, Timothy Evans, Kwame Raoul.
Okay, the only difference between a black judge or a white judge, maybe the black judge is going to be a little bit more polite about it. He's going to try to relate to you. He's going to crack jokes and shuck and jive while he's screwing you over. So he's going to try to make you feel better about it and make excuses. He's going to talk to you like a human being, but make no mistake about it, that black judge is absolutely going to screw you over to the same extent that the white judge would screw you over.
All of you all want to sit and allow this to happen to black people and have it, you all be the face of it, so it can take away the discrimination piece that we all know is the underlying issue as to why it is that Cook County and the city of Chicago are so comfortable with stealing black people's property. Now, my family's building has been in our family for 61 years. And when my mother died, she had a full-fledged will, no question there. Every dime was paid for. That building has been paid for since I was a teenager.
She shouldn't have used the will. She should have done a living trust that could have avoided probate altogether. And she also should have done a transfer on death deed. I know I shouldn't be saying this because am I giving legal advice? No, this is legal information. This should be public. Y'all know the unauthorized practice of law statutes are they've been promulgated in all 50 states that it is a felony to practice law without a license, which I'm going to discuss in greater detail also.
Asia. She didn't owe anybody not one red cent, not a credit card, not a medical bill, nothing to the state.
And I'm sorry that you're going through this, but the only reason that there is debt on this state is because of not your ignorance, but the whole community's ignorance. By hiring that attorney, you put yourself in debt. And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. The system is corrupt, but it only works if you allow them to do it. You put yourself in the system by hiring that crooked ass attorney.
No medical bills, no credit cards, no nothing. But Cook County, by way of a crooked hired state attorney, David Feldman, they just want the property. So for 8 years, I've been going through the probate process because public administration got their hooks in it and won't let it go.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to try to review more content. If y'all have any things that y'all want me to review, please tag me or something. And yeah, I have plenty to say about the legal system.